over on that Sizzy side. If it doesn't do that, I'll just do the OBS start. Oh, there it goes. It's finally connecting. YouTube's finally going to receive some feed. I want them to see what's going over here. So thank you all for just tuning in. Thank you all who have tuned in. The craziest thing going down on a Wednesday. So thank you, Astro Savage. Yes, right. I am Kang, Lord of the Reaper Horde, of the house with built first of my name. And good to see you, Astro Savage, and B Newt, and also Roos hanging out. We got a lot of lurkers. Don't forget, hit that repost button over there on Rumble. Also, copy paste this into all of your socials. Let your friends know to come here, right now. We're over on X, YouTube, and Rumble. Good to see you guys. Yeah, it's 9 inches and curves to the left. I've heard. That's what really she's hiding right there. She's hiding that 9-inch curve from the world. What I've heard, and I've heard that Terrence doing a good impression would only be topped by 70 cents impression of the average, if you know what I mean, 9-inch curve. If, like I said, the left to the left-hand side, as you're saying, Russell, so let more of this hilarity out.
To not do the thing that was right, or that was perceived as right, but do the thing that was right for me. Mm-hmm. That was a hard thing for me to do. Mm-hmm. I had to basically trick myself out of it, and it started with not having anything to wear. I mean, I had to affirmatively, because I'm always prepared.
Affirmatively.
Funeral, anything. I walk around with the right dress. I travel with clothes just in case something pops off. Mm-hmm. So I was like, if I'm not going to do this thing, I gotta tell.
What pops off? What are you referring to? You're referring to Obama hap? To the Obama? I know Obama haps. Shit. Did she just say what I think she said? Is she meant popped off like, war or rumors of war, or maybe someone playing non-stop consecutive replays of the most hilarious freaking movie starring Sigourney Weaver, still looking babylicious, was Galaxy Quest. Is she really saying that level of intergalactic war was going to pop off? I don't know, but I think that she's upset that people are asking questions about her marriage because you're not seeing her and Barack in the same room being, all right, look at me, gonna mount my wife, get her pregnant, have another baby, because, when you do it with the if you do it with Michelle, with my Muslim faith, my Christian faith, all the double talk and double speak that we heard from, the long-legged Mac Daddy, as we were told by one of the best preachers ever. I'm really thinking that what they're really trying to hide is the old flaming butthole.
Nothing yet until you see the flaming butthole. Your butthole will be flaming, and you will not be able to sit down.
Yeah, that's a fact. You won't be able to. When you go to the Obama's house, a fact is that it's got a 9-inch curve to the left, and you will have a flaming butthole. That's why you need to run to the pond behind their house to try to dunk yourself in to put out the flaming booty hole, especially if you're their chef. I'm just saying, there's a lot of things swirling around them, Just simply Google Obama kids' real parents and actually see Mrs. Blanchard, Anita Blanchard, I believe her name is. It's the mother. It's actually put on the paperwork that she delivered the twins. They claim she was the pediatrician that did it. No, she was the woman that birthed those two girls. They are girls on loan. I know it's conspiracy theorists, but it's amazing how the two girls looked precisely like the Obamas. Not. No, it looks precisely like the Nesbits. Yeah. I believe her last name was Blanchard and her husband's name was Nesbit. He was like their campaign manager. Sasha looks like him and Malik looks like her, I believe. Or vice versa. Those girls are spitting image of those two people. They look nothing like the Obamas. It's just a little weird. So I'm just saying, when you ask me, why do you obsess over the mohawk? I don't, because I don't obsess over it. I don't think about it. It's rent-free. There's not a penthouse in my head for the mohawk. But what I will tell you is that conspiracy theories that are going to be proven true is going to be yet another one, because we're batting 1,000 with our conspiracy ferocity. Our capacity to have theories of many conspiracies is very high level of batting average, and a lot of people, I think, need to understand that we're doing such a good damn job of it. Maybe you should shut the fuck up and listen a little bit more. We're not Candace Owens over here going, you know what? Dinosaurs are fake. Put there by the Jews to fool everybody. Oh, look at me. I'm a dinosaur. I'm a fake animal made up by the people from the temple. Oh my God, they're trying to get you to believe that you're all speck in the universe and nothing special or precious under God's petri dish. I'm like, yeah. She's gone nuts. Just as nuts as Obama's trying to get us to accept the whole rainbow flag. They lit up the whole White House on rainbow flagism. Why do they do that? Why do they push the troon stuff under the Obama years when they're supposed to be devout evangelical Christians from a black church that says, God damn America? Remember that? Jeremiah Wright? Remember that shit? And now we're finding out that, wow, look, the fruits of the poisonous tree don't fall very far from it because apples never fall far from a tree. And the Adam's apple on this dude, also on the other dude, Terrence. So these two dudes and their Adam's apples are doing it, Adam's apple stuff, but in different directions. Let's finish this up. I got a lot more to unpack about the Obama. I got a lot more to say about the Obamas, and I'm going to say a whole lot more about it tonight. Now we're going to go to James. We're going to be going to we're taking a trip through James's woods. We're going through his X feed. Don't worry, that'll happen. The big bad wolf and Little Red Riding Hood are coming with us. If it's showing up, we can ride him through the woods because he's the Tyrannosaurus and he will protect us. Planted in the ground, Candace Owens says. Dinosaur bones were planted in the ground, Candace Owens says, by the evil Zeus, you see, to fool everybody into believing that the world is billions of years old. Like, it is, and those bones are legit, and they're clearly constructed. No, they're not. They're just a little the crazy crap that comes out of that girl's mouth. She's such an utter disappointment. But remember, she kind of started out as a leftoid, as it was. You know, she kind of started out. You know, and you have to understand that she was making a doxing website. People that would, you know, people she thought were bullies, she'd post their information. Her and Blair White, who's far more conservative than she is, without being crazier than the fact that Blair White is a dude. Those of you that don't know Blair White, I suggest if you're looking for someone to really help educate you on how to appropriately approach the trans narrative that the Obamas have been pushing, because Michelle Obama is a mission employee. Michelle Obama is a transmission doctor. That's what she does. She's a transmission doctor down at Meineke. That's what she's cranking at. She's that, you know, I'm telling you straight up. We're never getting through this clip, everybody. I know, we're so close. We got only about another 6 minutes to go before we can really unload. So I'm telling you guys, I'm over on the you know what I mean? You better not say a bad word about if you do, then you're a bad guy. They hit me 1, 2, 3 times a lady over there. Blair White is a dude. Yes, Blair White's a man. Blair White's been open about the fact that Blair White is trans and used to criticize other trans. It's believed Riley Dennis was one of the Troon squad. She used to criticize him because he had a big old Bob and Adam's apple. Many of the parody videos about, you know, his transition, and it's just the autogynephilia and all that other kind of crap. But like I said, she has been out there. I have all these magazines. Yeah, it's okay, Russ. It's okay. We could talk about the psychology of it. But hey, Blair White has been a strong positive force in the conservative movement, regardless of being a full-on passing. I mean, Blair White is more convincing as a woman than Big Mike is, okay? Terrence is more convincing. Terrence looks like the lady that used to sing down at the church. You know, she looks like that. She had the mustache and everything. I ain't judging, because sometimes old women get mustachios.
Oh, my team.
Yeah, so, and you know, so Terrence is doing a good job here. I mean, you tell me that you look at both sides, there's the same picture. So, you know, we're almost there, everybody. We only got a couple more minutes to go before I can, you know, I can go right up to this subject and just go, alakablam, you know, and just give it the full on. But what I really want to do, oh my God, because right now we're still in the whole phase, you know, where it's a little, you know, a little bit of that phase, but I really do, I want to give it the old. Yeah, the old shoe bill surprise. I want to give it that. So I'm here to make you laugh. I'm here to entertain. I'm here to educate at the same time. That's what we do. We do the comedy in addition to the education because that's what makes it easier. A spoonful of comedy makes the red pills go down. The red pills go down. Red pills go down. Just a spoonful of comedy makes those red pills go down. In the most kindly way. Yeah, I will sing to you to get it to you. I'll give it to you and sing it to you and send it to you. And shish kebab your brain if necessary with facts and information. But we can't get too dark and doomy because every red pill has that golden center that's collapsed into some utter dark black pill. The black pill's hard to swallow, so you got to wrap it up with comedy, baby. You want to fill in the spaces like the Pink Panther insulation inside that red pill to make it easier to enjoy, sweeten it. So that's what the comedy does. So most people won't like my comedy style. That's okay, but you still laugh. I will make you laugh at least one time. If I can make you laugh at least one time per stream, it's worth you buying a gift sub for somebody. They like hanging gift subs. They just kind of hang out, wait to land on people. They land on lurkers all the time. That's fun. So we're going to move on to the next one. Now, here's a dude in a dress or ugly girl. This is probably a really ugly girl. I'm sorry. This is an ugly woman. This is a very unfortunate looking woman. I know. She's got the whole like Frankenstein bulbous forehead. You know, somebody cobbled her together from parts that they found in the graveyard, apparently. I'm being so cruel, so meanses, and so unfairly judging because here I am, chubby dude wearing a Cracks and Lives Matter shirt. Yeah, I spent all day in this shirt, chilling, watching, you know, the tube, eating Colonel's chicken, drinking Heineken brew. Like I said, the Beastie Boys were hanging out with the last two. The final two Beastie Boys were here hanging out today. Kick it! And we were like, all day long. And the neighbors were mad as fuck. Oh, whack trucker. Fire truck. Yeah, fire truck. Good to see you, Mama Bear's in the hizzy. Says, evening, Reapers. Evening, cuz. She's, in fact, my cousin, so y'all be respectful. But yeah, we got this person right here. So let's go ahead. We're gonna. Oh, I want to unload on this so bad. I'm like a minute and 40 seconds away, but we just gotta go with it.
Hey, Maga.
Oh, hey, Mike, you're talking to me. She's talking to me. She's talking to you. Oh, everybody, gather around. Put your Burger King crowns on. I've got to get those for distribution. Some simple, same shape, standard Burger King crown. And then just slap the sticker on top of it that just says Kang or RPFC, Kang preferred. And then on the backside it says RPFC and make them a little more sturdy so you guys can watch them like we're watching Howdy Doody or watching Little Orphan Annie. Get the secret decoder ring out there. You keep that on, even though you've been divorced for 3 years, you keep that on to keep up the illusion. You got that decoder ring. It takes the place of that. You'll click, and get secret messages just from Kang. Just from the Red Pill Fuck Love. Just from the Reaper Horde. Just from the Reaper Den. Just there for you to know. Secret messages. You never know what may be behind the next door. The fate of the planet may hang in the balance. So let's listen to this creature from the Black Lagoon. Creature that should have been a troon from the Black Latroon. Here we go. Oh, we're going on. Move it on.
Hey, Maga.
Hi.
What's consequences and repercussions doing on you?
Doing just fine for us. Consequences of what? I haven't seen my food or gas prices go up or really go down. I haven't seen much of an improvement. I'm okay. It's only the first 100 days. You guys are mad because he hasn't even finished a semester as the president. You guys are mad. Man, I hit that F right at the 20-minute mark. That's hilarious. I'm so happy we went safe right across that 20-minute mark. Okay, finally, this trans Trudy wannabe woman, this woman with her oppression Olympics, how many cats does she have? I agree, Russ. How many cats does this woman have? She would have voted for Cackles. Okay. Like I said, even if her neighborhood was in the process of being smashed by Godzilla, she would still outline that her amygdala is damaged. She can't recognize threats. All she knows is smug arrogance. This is a person who has an overactive prefrontal cortex, but only the one for problem solving. So it's only the logic center in her brain, but she's processing it over with too much emotion. Her EQ is overriding her IQ. And so she suffers from apophenia to a high degree. What's apophenia, you may ask? You know, the tendency to see patterns in like static or see clouds and see bunnies and shit. She sees failure and collapse and Donald Trump being a failure because she suffers from, she's overacting and she's overthinking all these problems and thinking, well, what if we're doing so good, but really we're doing bad, so it looks good. But we're doing so bad that it looks like we're doing good, and people don't understand it because they're in a cult. She overthinks things to such a high degree and thinks she's oh so smart because she has, 13 different solutions to a problem that's binary. It's yes or it's no, it's up or it's down, it's left or it's right, it's man or it's woman, it's not or it's stay, it's Democrat or Republican, and it's morally immoral. She doesn't understand. She overthinks all that stuff. She never thinks that anything can come down to why are people against the immigration problem we have right now? Because people don't like people getting robbed, raped, and murderized by the illegals that are coming across the border. She doesn't have any empathy for the victims because she herself has not been victimized. You know what turned Anita Sarkeesian of the Young Turks to our side? She got victimized by the very people we told her were a problem, by a couple of white guys who were homeless and drug addicts. She had bent over while she was picking up her dog's poop while she was walking her dog. And one of them came up, grabbed her hips and humped her 2 or 3 times. And then walked away laughing. That was the nature. It was sexual assault. That's true. It was the classic definition. But he did it with no intent of harm. He did it with no attempt of penetration. He did it with no attempt other than to make fun of her because she was bent over. It was a poor, homeless, drug-addicted frat boy style fucking joke. And that's what woke her up and said maybe the Republicans, maybe conservatives, and maybe people on the right of any side, maybe they are right about crime. And she's flipped. She flipped because she got a little bunny bump from a couple of hobos. Some hobo bunny bumpers bunny bumped her, a little fluffy tail, while she was out letting her dog defecate. She was bending over to pick up said dog with the plastic baggie on the hand. Pop, pop, pop. She got humped a couple times from the back. No one tackled her to the ground and AOC'd her. It just didn't happen. Didn't happen. It's not like going to Kobe Bryant's hotel room. You can kick and scream all you want, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Too soon? Too soon? No, I look at you and say, it is not. Look, some guy walked up to her, some hobo and went, surprise, motherfucker. And Anita Sarkeesian finally realized, okay, maybe the right's telling the truth about crime. We are. But however, remember, her brain was still steeped in all the juicy juice of the left, just like this woman's cooked potato brain. And she thought a lot of the same things this was cooked potato brain woman is expressing. So I got to give people credit where they're due. Like I told you, Blair Wright, good voice to understand the trans thing. She would out all these trans pedos and all kinds of shit. She was doing good work. She's doing the Lord's work. Even if she was butting heads with Candace Owens from the beginning. And it turns out Blair was right the whole time. Candace is now coming out, and the dinosaurs aren't real. Yeah, the world's only 6,000 years old. The world's so flat. It's under a big dome. She's gone there. She's gone there. I think she's going to chalk it up to her pregnancy. Her being pregnant is probably going to make her go crazy. But this is just the facts. This is just the facts. This woman's brain is stooped and steeped in the same shit. Sadly, it's the truth. These people have apophenia to the nth degree. The shadows on the wall, all that's true. She doesn't want to see the light, so she wants to make believe that the world is collapsing when we're doing fine. We had a big market correction, and now we're stabilizing again. We're going to continue having corrections as Trump makes big changes. If you have big changes in the government, you have big changes in the stock market, you have changes in the economy, and big changes in everything. That's all that's happening. But these people don't understand market corrections of any kind. They don't want a brain market correction. They don't want to have any kind of money market correction. They don't want to have any correction in their life because they've never taken correction. These people never wanted to be punished or spanked in their lives. They never wanted to be talked down to for failing. They never wanted to be made to feel inferior for failing. These are the people that said, participation trophy time. They had bulldozer, and didn't have helicopter parents that would rescue them from things. They had bulldozer parents who would bulldoze everything out of the way. This woman's never been challenged in her life. She's the most privileged individual, one of the most privileged creatures on the planet. She's a lot of things she could do. She could eat a burger every once in a while. She probably regained some weight. She looks like she's on death's door. This is what soy and a steady diet of mainstream media does to you. Democrat poisonous fucking Kool-Aid does to you. It's just the way it is. This person is suffering from falling down, but it's on the left. There are the falling downs both left and right. There are people on the right who have fallen down so far on the right they become freaking Nazi tards. Flat earth tards. It's insane. Whereas the lefties have also said it's too, and they also blame white people too. And then it's insane. They're on a horseshoe. Understand that, people. The far left and the far, everyone's screaming, flirt. That person's just basically got the left-way brain disease. It's just curved so badly it's curved to the right. They're on the same horseshoe. I'm not. You can be on the horseshoe if you want, but just understand I'm going to ruin a whole lot of your worldview. Facts, reason, evidence, philosophy, and balance. It's just the reality. So let's listen to Imbalance again.
You still got your 401ks?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much. Biden hit all of my stock market stuff. Biden hit all of my portfolio heavily. I talk to people all the time that said, crap, I lost 100K under Biden. For 4 years. Every year they lost 25K on a 401k because of Biden. Ouch. When someone's trying to retire and they're just a year or two away from it and you're making them decide whether to stay in and earn that money back because your guy, the steamed potato in chief that you told us was perfectly okay, was perfectly sane and rational and sharp as a tack and lucid and better than everyone else and running circles around people and look at how spry I am. La la la, I'm Joe Biden. Not a joke, because he's pooping in the hallways of the White House and also he's swimming naked in front of his Secret Service, even the female members, especially the female members, requesting female members only to watch him swim. He swims in the nude, gets out and dangles his parts in their faces and tell them to dry his presidential scrotum. Do you think I'm lying? They blamed the pooping incidents in the White House on the dog, got rid of the dog. And then what happened? The pooping incidents remained. I'm telling you, this person doesn't believe that truth. That person believes that Joe Biden was still the best president he was probably even better than Obama. That's almost sacrilege. I guarantee you, if Kamala had got in, God forbid, if Kamala had got in, everybody in the country would be like, it's true. All of us would have taken a look at the crash this country would have suffered. Shit. Because what's the stock market? All it is speculation. It's how people are feeling. Are they feeling confident in the country and in the currency and in the way we're going? They invest in the stock market. When they don't, they pull their money out. That's all it is. It's not real. If you put your real currency into it and it crashes, I'm sorry, but you gotta get me down with this, you know. If you don't understand how the market works, then you shouldn't be investing in it. There are people that spend their day actually understanding it and working it, and they know how to survive these things. If you don't, then you shouldn't be managing it that way. You need to hire a professional to do that shit for you. But the facts will remain is that all of us have an opportunity to retire if we understand what that really truly means. This person here is going to live with their parents the rest of their lives. And I'm okay with multi-generational households, think that that's very healthy to give kids a springboard and a leg up. But this woman looks like she probably still lives with her mom and dad. And she's got 17 cats. 17 cats and elderly parents. She's waiting slowly to die so she can inherit their apartment that they rent. Because they downsize and downsize and downsize. Remember, your great-grandparents had 12 kids. Your grandparents had 8. Your parents had maybe 4, and you have an abortion and a puppy. The millennials are just not having babies. They're hitting 40, and they're just not having kids at the rate they should. So, doesn't mean every millennial, I'm saying at the rate that they as a group should have. So we're going to see a massive decline in people that were going to be inept enough to crash Black Hawk helicopters into airliners while they're ignoring the commands of their co-pilot. It was a woman like this that was flying that damn thing. Now they're suspecting. I was watching the Hodge twins, and they were talking about a suicide. Might be a self-deletion. That's what they're thinking. a protest crash because Donald Trump was now in charge, and they want to make sure they have the most chaos and destruction. So here, this woman, I can imagine, decides to fly herself into the airplane immediately and also knowingly and willingly and with gusto and ignoring her co-pilot. That's the stuff that's coming out now. DEI causes you to DIE. This woman here, if she got to give her a helicopter, she'd crash it into the White House just to go without any concept. She's lost her future time orientation. She's losing her impulse control. These people are dangerous and they're getting out of hand. So now she wants you to live in her delusion. She wants to propagandize you and tell you that things are bad. They're not. They're fine. We're not any worse than we were before Biden. We're now starting to discover all the grift, the graft, and the corruption that's 1,000 leagues beyond where Biden ever were to take us. Biden himself, under Obama years, said they were going to do the very same thing that Trump and Elon are doing right now. Hell, even Clinton did that. So this is the facts. So here we go. More.
I took mine out before they could start draining it.
So okay, so you made a withdrawal from your 401k, but now you're not making any money because you're not invested. You just have that money.
Oh, you Trump voters. Just watch that money dwindle down.
And then it rebounded. And then here you were not invested and didn't catch the rebound. You didn't buy the dip. And I guarantee you she bought. She bought at one point and she sold at the dip. This is a person who's so smug. She's probably lying about having a 401k in the first place. But her Prius yeah. She says she crashed her Prius into the moon. She's going to try to convince you of that too, and found that the moon is an inflatable, like a rubber sheep. Here we go.
Also, all you farmers, these small family farms that voted for Trump, you're going to get what you voted for because they're going to crash the economy and come take over your land. And guess what? I'm in Canada.
Well, they crashed the economy under piss pants potato Biden. They didn't come and take your land then, did they? What would be the motivation for that? So now you're just making up scare stories. Oh, if you got land, they'll just come and take it. Ha ha ha, hee hee hee. I'm like, really? Is that what they did under the great market crash back in the 1930s or whenever? Is that how that happened?
Canada now, and eggs are still cheaper, and I'm buying Canadian products, so no tariffs for me. Canada now.
So she says she's in Canada, and she's like, no tariffs for me. Okay. A lot of smugness for a first 100 days. It's just a little strange. It's just a little weird. Just like this individual. I mean, is this person going to a Rocky Horror Picture Show? These people live in Fantasyland. They live in the upside down. They live in a world where everything is so inverted that they see the slightest bit of dip or drop in anything. They all of a sudden say, hey, guess what? Everything is crashing and falling apart all around you. Ha ha ha. They're trying to convince you that the house is on fire and you're the dog in the meme going, this is fine. When the fact was that under Biden, that was them. That's their reality. They knew it. They saw it. They knew the world was on fire. They knew the country was on fire. They knew the border was open. They knew the people were being killed. They knew all of this. And she sat there. And, this is fine. Now under Trump, there's a flare up here or there as we start to put the fire out. Putting the fire out can cause more destruction sometimes. All that water and shit like that, but you're still going to put the fire out. I'm not worried about a little bit of water damage being done to the structure of the country if we're in fact putting the fire out. But that dummy doesn't understand that. One thing I do understand is that really, me and Russ are simpatico again, because as soon as I said Rocky Horror Picture Show, he typed out, let's do the time warp again. And he was like, ha ha ha, ha jinx, get out of my head, King. Yeah, you knew what I was thinking. We're Siamese twins, folks. So if you don't know, Russ Hanneman and me are actually conjoined twins. Here we go. My Lord. Let's do the time warp again. He's got like a twisted sister look to his face. We're not gonna yank it. No, we're just gonna bank it. We're at KFC, yeah. Chicken, yeah. Feeling uncomfortable. This is a man that left his house. And he lost a bet, or this was a dare, and he realizes no one's buying the disguise that he's trying to wear. No one's buying the woman face. No one's buying what he's trying to sell, and he's starting to get uncomfortable. You know, this looks like, I mean, honestly, it looks like Cousin Eddie in drag. I mean, I don't get me wrong. Cousin Eddie's great. You know what? That Jelly of the Month Club is the gift that just keeps on giving the whole year round. So Cousin Eddie in drag. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Put in the chat if you know the actor's name. Cousin Eddie. Randy Quaid, everybody. Randy Quaid. This is Randy Quaid in drag. No disrespect to Randy Quaid because he's pretty base and badass, but this definitely looks like Randy Quaid pulling a joke in public. And the night at McDonald's. This is a KFC down the street from my house. Look at this dude's boots. I mean, the heels on, like, this dude needed. You shouldn't be wearing you shouldn't be wearing anything with heels to jack your height up more already, because you're already standing out like a Sasquatch. Then you're looking like a Sasquatch that is going to a Twisted Sister concert. You look extremely uncomfortable. You see this person's recording you. He takes the time to look at the person and say, why the hell is this person recording me? He gets really uncomfortable, starts pretending to have a conversation with people. He's going to talk to this woman's back, and it's kind of nod and smile. He's talking. This woman doesn't even turn around to notice him. He's like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and go. Can you get out of the way? Oh, you won't? Okay, I'll just stand here. This guy is completely out of his element. He's a fish out of water. I mean, shitter's full, Randy Quaid. Yeah, of course, Randy Quaid. He's looking at this woman like, oh God, this person's recording me. Oh my God, I shouldn't have left the house dressed like this. Holy shit, what if my boss recognizes me? He's looking at the camera, the person holding the camera recording this freak in real time. It's just actually a good thing. This person deserves exactly what they're getting at this point. This is what you should do. These people should be shamed back into their cry closets again to realize that we're not going to have your sexual fetish, your autogynephilia, get your autogynepedia, because you guys tend to also target children with your kink and perversion, delusion, perversion, criminal fucking sexual deviant behavior. And I think it's time for you guys with the fishy fish. Yes, that's exactly right. Holy crap, we have to go down that road. All right, we're going to respond, we're going to quote, and we're going to go right to Twitter's GIFs. And we're going to do it. Let's see here. It'll be Monty Python fishy fish. Yeah, here we go. It's the same picture. Yeah. Fishy fish. Oh, a fishy fish. Oh. Yeah, it's just as bizarre as that. Just as bizarre. Holy crap. Thank you, Russ, for that 5 spot there on the gifted sub. We're going to go ahead and pull up the Trump Enjoyer meter and put it up. We're up to 6.5 of a 7.0 goal. 6.5 of a 7.0 goal. Boom. Make sure it is connected. Make sure it is connectinated. Make sure it's connecticated. Let's see if it does with connecticut. No, 321. 321. Is it going to know? We're going to have to go and reset it on the Medosphere, but we'll definitely get that added for you, bud. Scrolling on down. I got the meter right there. And I'm going to delete the slash. There it is. Good. Put it back to the 650. That should populate here in a second here. Paskengal and Malinga. Boom. Up there to 6.5 of 7.0. That is awesome. Yeah, that's exactly the clip you're looking for. A fish a fishy fish. So this is what Obama has foisted upon us. He brought this to us. The trans and gay lobby stuff didn't explode until Obama. And he ran on the whole premise that I believe, that, marriage between a man and a woman. Michelle, yeah. We get it. We're taking notes, Big Mike. We're taking notes, Barry. We're taking notes. We're trying to get you to understand that we see you. You asked us to see you. Now we see you. This crap in America didn't start until after Obama. Sure, there were always troons. Sure, there were always troon goons. Sure, there were always chicken ox and gay guys and pride. It definitely existed before Obama. But that's not the point. The point that we're getting to is that it simply was normalized. It was the gay pride parades were brought out from the left coast and brought in all to the mainstream. They've been doing that shit for decades. Harvey Milk and all those guys used to do that crap. That's a fascinating story. Then they started grabbing in kids and pulling them in, telling you it was normal to expose children. No, it's not. You shouldn't expose children to any of this kind of stuff, straight or gay. That's the whole point we were making. I wouldn't accept a bunch of straight people walking around humping each other and being in the in the public eye and telling kids to do the same. I'd be just as upset about it. And it's kind of weird that you tell me that I'm a homophobe for objecting to gays doing it. I'm like, I'm just being morally consistent. This isn't a hard thing to comprehend. Sometimes you just need clarity of thought. Sometimes the best thing to do is to sit back and enjoy a good, delicious cocaine bear piss.
Red Pill Fight Club is proudly sponsored by Cocaine Bear Piss. We produce and ship only the most royal class of products. We work with only the finest hosts to advertise our kingly line of merchandise. Style matters, you motherfuckers.
Style matters. It does. It absolutely does. Style does matter, and it's delicious. And you can also pair it with the most delicious, of course, smokes on this side of the rainbow. MyPatriotCigar.com, promo code Kang. MyPatriotCigar.com, promo code Kang for 25% off. Kang, just like written behind me, because I'm a Kang. You see the damn fucking crown? I'm a Kang. Go over there and get yourself a Kangly discount on Kangly cigars. Criminal aliens at the Texas Detention Center spelt out SOS as a Reuters drone passed overhead. How'd they know it was coming? It seems perfectly executed. Sure looks staged. SOS, you're criminal illegal aliens and you're begging a drone to help rescue you from prison. So what? Now they're all laughing. Help us, please. Pick us up, Mr. Drone. We didn't do nothing. That girl was asking for it, right? Privilege, right? Obama amnesty, right? Biden amnesty, right? No, these are just... It's retards doing retarded things. So drone footage shows the Venezuelan detainees in Texas forming SOS as if they're, because they have TVs. Because they have TVs to know that there's people out like this who are actually screaming for their release.
God, if I ever see a MAGA person in a Mexican restaurant, I will literally start a revolution right there.
Sure, please do. You gotta pick up your dildo and your bong and no. You're gonna mess yourself up. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's avoid that. Just saying. Let's not do that. I think that they need to afuera her. Pick her up tonight. Take her and drop her off with the Venezuelan migrants that are in the detention center. Give her a jumpsuit. Give her like the 3 squares and a cot, Put her on the bus, put her on the plane, fly her back, and let her live in Venezuela. I wonder if she'll start making videos like we see these young black women that are flying over, selling everything they own, selling all their businesses and such, cashing out of America, flying to Ghana, and then realizing that they hate it. No hot water, no constant electricity. Big old fucking lizards crawling up in my damn bed, all different colors you've never seen before. No hot water for them to run that pussy telephone. I'm telling you. She's mad as hell because she cannot wash that ass because the hot water is so inconsistent. Because you can't wash your ass. Because you can't wash your ass. Squash it. Okay? She's mad about that. Now she wants to fly back, wants to move back to the United States. I say, no, fuck it. Well, no backsies. I say no backsies. Anyone that says, I want to move to a foreign country without doing any research whatsoever, without even going on a vacation to hang out there, without exploring the outside, the tourist options to find out whether or not you're going to be taken advantage of because you're an American, because they don't like you because you're American. But this woman was complaining she moved back to Ghana to get back to her African roots. Heard her ancestors calling her all the white racism and Donald Trump. And she gets over there and now she hates it because all the conveniences of life that she was used to is gone. All she got is cold water. All she's got is goats and chickens and llamas and lambs and zebras and tigers and giraffes and shit hanging out in front of her fucking house. All she has is people constantly trying to jack the prices up on everything on her. She's mad as fuck that a bottle of water costs $10 over there. She's mad as fuck. She has to pay $100 a day to stay in the place that she's living with like 5 or 6 other people in this one room that doesn't even have a stove. That the running water sometimes is interrupted. That she doesn't have electricity. The air conditioning's a no-go. She's mad. Like, you didn't even do a slightest little, I'm going to go on a vacation first. Go check it out. Moving out of the country is not always a bad idea, but what we're seeing is regret from these people now going on X, going on, oh my God, I should have moved out of Africa. I have to go back home and deal with all the racism. No, you don't, because you never had to deal with it in the first place. The only racism you had to deal with was your own. This person here is full of the same toxic nonsense. This is a poison frog. Ship her back to the Amazon. Let her live there. Fuck her. Let's listen to more toxicity here.
Because you cannot tell me that you voted for people who, whether they are citizens or not, to get deported out of this country to Mexico.
Oh, also to Venezuela, also to El Salvador, too. So we're sending people back to many different places. You need to update this. You know, she looks like a fat Orphan Annie's, like, best friend, you know? She's like little Orphan Annie's chubby, mischievous best friend. Just saying. She needs to be afuera and go on the Venezuelan diet because it would do her a bit of good. She could probably lose about 80 pounds and probably be a lot healthier, a lot happier. Maybe that experience of picking ticks and all kinds of mites out of her skin every day and going through dysentery and maybe even dealing with some tropical snakes that she has to deal with. Maybe she will wake up with snakes in her bed a few times and be wondering whether or not she made the great idea of standing up for these people that are coming here to make sure we live like them. They're not coming here to turn this country into Wakanda. They're coming here to turn it into Mordor. We live in basically Rohan, or we live in, Gondor. Some places is Rivendell. America basically does represent. There's some places like the Shire, the farmlands. Of course, people want to live on a subsistence farm. That's the Shire. I'd love to live there. Of all the places in Lord of the Rings I'd actually like to live in, I prefer to live in the Shire. Sit around with their pipe weed and, their wine and cheese and bread and a simple life and enjoying growing things. Happy, chubby, healthy folks who don't care about the land of the big folk, don't care about the times of the big folk, don't care about the adventures of the big folk. This person here wants to basically allow the orcs of Mordor just to overrun Middle Earth because she's miserable and she's an orc herself. Compared to other women, she looks like an oaf. And she knows this. So she wants you to change your whole life to come down to her level, and that's why she's championing people from Mordor. All she needs is have a couple of tusks coming out and her skin go a little green, and I'd be like, oh, wow, what do you know? An orc of Mordor. What do you know? Just saying, Shrek's wife has really let herself go.
And also voted for tariffs against Mexico, where we get a large majority of our produce.
No, we give some. Avocados especially, yeah, so what? But they're growing avocados in California. I'd rather have a locally sourced avocado, even if it's shipped from California, out of the Napa Valley. I wouldn't care. You don't have any real points. I rarely buy them anyway. You can't. No one really subsists off of avocado alone. So she's remembering these little talking points from friends at her office, sitting around the water cooler at her do-nothing HR job, where they complain that there's not enough blue-haired transgender cat girls, running whatever department. There's not enough people in accounting that are blind, crippled midgets. Everything has to be done by Braille. And you wonder why all the fucking numbers are wrong all the time. Stevie, Yeah. See that stack of files I left for you? I didn't see nothing. Good call. Stevie. Yeah. You fired. Well, good cause. I'm going to sing this song just for you. So this woman thinks we're worried about avocados. She thinks we're worried about the tariffs. She's real worried about all this stuff while she hasn't missed a meal in an hour.
Especially avocados to just, you can't enjoy Mexican restaurants.
Yes, we can. I go to them all the time. I'm probably planning on going on Cinco de Mayo. Get some Mexicano. I'm probably going to home cook Mexican food. Authenticate. There are lots of Latinos that work at the McDonald's that I work on. It's almost all Latino, as a matter of fact. All right, the manager's a white guy, and the assistant manager's a white woman, and I am a white guy, but I'm also an African-American, and they respect the crown and the kingliness. They respect that I put out the best soft serve ever. They respect the fact that I tell you to don't eat the cones, and they're okay when I tell people that it's made of human flesh. They also whisper over the ear, don't mind him, he has Tourette's, and he's autistic, and he's got ADHD. He's got 3 types of crazy. He works here as part of his furlough, and it's just work release because he's on parole. He's got out. 34 years. He did 34 years for felony down duding on people's internet videos. So, just, he's living in the halfway house. So, no, actually, I don't live the halfway house. I don't like people, stuff. I live under the Westmoreland Bridge. Right off the Westmoreland Bridge. Big old sailboat. It's dementia written on the side of it. You know what I mean? Turns out that squeaky eye was a stroke, and Popeye had a fucking stroke. That's why he had a squeaky eye. I inherited the boat from Popeye, my great-grandpa. So just saying, this woman here definitely needs to go on a spinach diet. Maybe if we send her to Mexico, she can get a couple of those wonderful water bugs they have there, and it can help clear out her bowel. She's probably got about 3 months worth of life in her if you send her down to Mexico, but at least maybe she would learn a lesson before those 90 days expired, like most relationships do. Here we go.
If you voted that way, you cannot go with your little girly pops and get chips and queso and margaritas and be like, this and girl time. Like, no.
Yeah, you can do that. You can. Actually, I encourage women to do that because tequila makes her clothes fall off. I'm just saying. This girl here, she definitely needs the,
In Finland, we have this thing called käsisuihku, aka pussy telephone. This is why we are so happy, because we have so clean assholes.
She does not have a so clean asshole. That's why she is very upset. She will not wash that ass. And, and she wants you to believe that the world is in an absolutely devastating state. I look at her and I go,
why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
I look at her and I think to myself, now what happens when it's, what Chinese things do we celebrate in this country? Is there like a day of the cat, day of the rat, day of the dragon? Is there a day of the dragon where I can go out and,
a succulent Chinese meal.
And enjoying Day of the Dragon? Would she come out and say, nah, because Donald Trump is in a trade war with Winnie the Pooh, a.k.a. Xi Jinping? You can't enjoy that succulent Chinese meal because, Donald Trump. So she's sassy and telling you what you can and cannot do. This is an authoritarian cunt. I'm looking at her and I'm thinking,
You're a cunt. You're a cunt.
yeah, that this woman telling you what you can and cannot eat, where you can and cannot enjoy. With her, I don't want her clothes falling off. I just want her to go away. So we have to scroll away. So we got a Canadian transgender singer says they are canceling concerts. Or canceling concerts in the United States because they don't feel safe for trans. Okay. This is Eminem or Feminem.
This is not a super fun video to make. I'm going to try to keep it quick. Keep your attention.
So this is a woman pretending to be a man. So this is Feminem telling us how
I am pulling out of the All Roads Festival in Maine that I was booked to play on.
What, did somebody say they were going to pull down your pants and show that you needed an addictomy? Or are they going to say, hey, did you know that strap-on Spelled backwards is no parts. I don't know. I'm just. They look like their forearm is still intact. I don't think they've had the addictomy. You know, I don't think they've had the addictomy surgery done because they have a forearm looks like it's intact. So perhaps, I mean, it still sits down when peace confirmed. You know, ugly girl making herself into feminine. That's weird. That, you know, Marcia Mathers. This is really Marcia. This is Marcia Mathers. Oh my God, Zipper Tits McGee.
18th and 18th. That's because it doesn't feel safe for me to go across the border.
Oh, so but go and do your concert in Zimbabwe. I'm pretty sure that'll be better. No. Go over to China and show your support. No. Do it over in cartel country, where they're likely just to simply behead you just for the sake of looking like Eminem. I'm just saying. It looks like Salty is over there on the covering some of the same stuff that I'm doing over here. It's pretty interesting. Salty over there on the X. We must watch video of dogs being rescued from an abandoned New Jersey testing lab. Owned, by Democrat Rep Schrei Thenandar. This is Thenandar. Most of them have never seen or experienced being outside before. This is the guy that wants to impeach Trump. So yeah, he had a bioweapons testing lab. Bioweapons, I say that maybe later. But he had a bio lab where they were experimenting on animals, beagles and other animals, like a Dr. He was doing the same things, and he went bankrupt for some reason. He just abandoned the animals there. Over 100+ animals were abandoned. A lot of beagle puppies and stuff. The ones that didn't get slaughtered or have their heads strapped into bags for evil, for the evil flesh beetles to consume their flesh while they were alive. So this Shenander guy is doing this. Shenander guy, this guy that thinks that he's from Thundar, like Thandar, whatever, the Thandar guy. You know, this is what he did. He abandoned these animals and he wants to impeach Trump. Like, the guy's like Fauci light. He's like Fauci with he's like Mocha Fauci.
It was just really amazing how things worked out. Just the other day, we're like, oh, wait a second. It's 4th of July. They're gaining freedom over Independence Day weekend.
Hi, puppy one. As they come off transport, we're hoping to deworm each dog. Oh, she clenches her mouth really tight. This one. Trim their nails. Yeah. And microchip each of them so they have a permanent identification before going into their outdoor runs.
He was mistreating these animals, and then he abandoned these animals. I want to make sure this is very clear. He abandoned these animals. Absolutely abandoned them. So I started doing some replies, and I started replying with this image. This was the image that I started replying with. That this is the guy, Deep Roy, I think is this fella's name. This is who this fella reminds me of, because the face on this guy matches the face on that guy. They don't look real. This looks like, I generated this image just by going to Google and taking a snapshot, removing the background, and adding the red glow myself. So this is an original work that I created. However, he has the same uncanny appearance. The other guy looks like he's actually an AI. It's just absolutely bizarre. It's just absolutely bizarre. I get very, very confusions when I look at this fella. Thank you, Russ. I appreciate that over there. But that's the guy, this evil little monkey in his red evil glowing suit was the guy. This fella here. And the people that are mad at me and saying, you need to prove, they're going, source! I'm like, yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. Yeah. Yeah. Also, I put out Norm MacDonald here, and in response to the hockey rink, yeah, interesting enough. We had that one ice skater. He was a black fella skating, and he intentionally killed another hockey player by karate kicking him in the neck with the blade intentionally, and the guy bled out on the ice. And then they decided to drop the charges. This guy's not going to face charges after all. What horseshit is that? What absolute horseshit. Just surprised. So I used the Norman Dunn. This just in. Murder legal on the hockey ring. Ah. This just in. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You should be just as angry about that as you should be about this guy. Think I'm going to impeach. It's time for me to impeach Donald Trump. I'm like, really? Okay, fine. But this guy is a horrible monster. Donald Trump is mean because you put terrorists. Yeah, you abandoned 100 animals to starve to death in their cages. People had to break in the facility to go and feed these dogs every day until they eventually liberated them. You're a monster, Theridane, Thaindar, the Shri. Shri! Yeah. That's definitely a really... Shri! That's going to replace Re from now on, I think. Shri! Thaindar, fuck you. You little hobgoblin monster. Speaking about, I know, moral superior. I'm a moral superior to you, my friend, but it's why I sell everything to you. You're the extra arms on Vishnu. You know, I mean, come on. I remember Apu singing them songs over there, you know, on The Simpsons and being oh so insensitive. Oh, they kicked the white guy, Hank Azaria, off the show practically, who played Mo Sislak, a handful of others, and including Apu, and said, how dare you? You're not even an Indian guy. You can't play Apu. Yes, you can. You're mocking him. That's what you do. Yes, the show is a mockery of stereotypes. I'm just saying it's ridiculous that these people think this way, but we're not supposed to make fun of Thaindar, Shri, because he's got virtue. Why? Because he's brown. Why? Because he's from India. Why? Because he's transaction. Why? Because he doesn't like Donald Trump. I don't really care about any of those things. I look at this and say the guy's a piece of shit because of this. Because he covered this up.
Each of them so they have a permanent identification before going into their outdoor runs. We believe that they have never been outside.
Their lives didn't matter. Sorry, Beagle Lives Matter. BLM, there you go. Beagle Lives Matter. There's a new BLM slogan for you.
Ever.
I don't think that they've actually had their paws on the grass. When I walked in here, it looked like they were walking on eggshells. They were kind of afraid to walk on the grass. Yeah, their lives have been spent living in fear. They're smart enough to figure out what's going on. Rufus didn't come back. They must be giving him the big sleep. The big sleep. The big sleep, yeah. Little Red and Stimpy reference there for you.
It's okay. These are animals that don't understand.
Look at that face. And we're told that Mr. Shri is a Mr. He's a moral superior to you. Oh, he's my friend. And you're mean for making fun of his accent. No, I'll make fun of his accent if he was English. He was like, how dare you, Donald Trump. I'd be making fun of that. If he had an accent that was, I don't know, Chinese, I'm making fun of that. If his accent was Jersey, or even if it was from Long Island, I'd be making fun of that too. If he sounded like Fauci, I'd be making fun of that too. I'm an equal opportunity maker funner of her. Maker funner of her. We're making up words. Perfectly cromulent words. But that's how we do it here at the Rip Up Fight Club. You can scroll on this shit on yourself, but your thoughts are probably not the same thoughts that I have. And if you do, you probably laugh in the same way that I do. I'm here to laugh at this clown world a little bit and try to bring a little bit of levity to this. Try to bring a little bit of balance, because if you stay in the doom, gloom, everything turns black. I don't want you to sing, I see the red door and I want to paint it black. No colors anymore, I want them to go black. I don't want that for you. I want you to get the 1,000-yard stare. People on the left have already developed that. That woman that was ranting and raving about MAGA not being allowed to go to a Mexican restaurant's got that nobody home. I'm repeating talking points because my brain has imploded and turned into a little spiral into doom. My whole soul's dried up and shriveled up inside of me in my womb. The girl's probably not even 30 years old and already her eggs are no longer viable. She got cobwebs in that kukuchi, that kusmuchi, that perluchi, that kusmuchi hoochie coochie. Guarantee you. Fucking tumbleweeds falling out of that poontang. When dogs like this or something, I'm so sorry. Okay, you care more about dogs left in a science lab than you do about immigrants being kicked out? Yes. Illegal immigrants that have come here and committed crimes, been part of criminal gangs and organizations that have committed crimes and large. Yeah, I'll take them any day. Any day. So going over to James Woods. See what James has to say. Because this is the Walking in the Woods. So here we go. So as he said here, he pinned on the 29th, he said, imagine if Democrat Jeff Bezos put a made in American flag on every product made by the labor of our fellow citizens. Why won't Democrats support the American working man and woman? Why do they only support illegal aliens, foreign countries, and gender-confused mentally ill? That's a very good question. Because that's where their allegiances lies. Because the destruction of the West is their goal. That's their goal. They want to bring Mordor to the United States. And Mordor represents a lot of things. They want you to die in the morass, in the mire, and the muck. Trollmaster of the United States, of the President of the United States is the Trollmaster. Here he is trolling these people with those. Remember we covered this the other day?
Who have been arrested for violent crimes. You can see them there. They put them up on the driveway of the White House. If you look here, that's the West Wing just at the forefront, the executive mansion itself to the left. But what's particularly noteworthy about this location is it is right directly behind the positions where TV correspondents do their hits from the White House lawn. So therefore...
Good. So now they can advertise the people that have been arrested and proven to already have been convicted of these things. These are people that they've arrested for doing these things. You're worried about people that committed these crimes, went through the due process, are now being deported. These are innocent Bebe Angel Aladdin Dindus. And these people want you to feel sympathy and sorry. They want you to look at these faces and cry boo-hoo, but don't worry about them dogs in the cages that were left there to die by Shrindender. Shrindender wants to then take out Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is evil, racist, and evil and immoral, and that's all they want to do. They just want to say, they say racist to say he's immoral. They say Nazi because they want to say he's immoral. They say Hitler because they want to say he's immoral. All they want to do is to say that he's an immoral person. Immoral. That's all they want to do. They want to wag their finger at you and go, shame, shame, shame. And yet these guys are on this row are completely deserving of shame. And the people that are covering up for them by blurring their faces deserve shame. People that abandon animals in the failed biolabs, they leave them there to die and have to have people break in to rescue them, deserve shame. But Donald Trump and us that voted for him, oh no! Want to get rid of people that want to let dogs die. Yeah. You want to let people go to because they hurt other people. Oh, it was just one little girl. It was just one baby. It was just one old woman. It was just one family. It was just... Yeah. Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? When are you going to step up to the plate, Democrats, MSNBC, ABC, CNN, all the mainstream media outlets? When are you going to start giving a fuck about Americans that get harmed by the assholes in these pictures? They feel the same way about these men as we feel about those dogs. Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird? That they have the same level of empathy. Allegedly, their virtue card says it does. But inside, their souls are dried up. They don't care. They're nihilistic pricks that don't care about anything except for the destruction of the West. They are willing to allow this country to turn into Mordor so that they can just live off the ashes. Kings of the garbage heap. These are people whose ideology has melted their actual faculties to actually process anything rationally in their brain. These people have basically become doomed. And there's no out of it for them. We cannot follow them into that rabbit hole. We have to stay up here. We've come out of Plato's cave, and by golly, we're going to stay out here seeing in the light. Even if it means we have to come to some harsh realities and understand some harsh things and appreciate the harsh terms of life that are put before us. If you don't stand up and do battle with life, it will eat you up. These people want to stay chained to the wall in Plato's cave, looking at the shadows and making up nonsense and stories like these guys are innocent baby angel Aladdins and you're an evil white supreme for even noticing. Our policies can't be wrong. Yeah. All of their policies are wrong. Everything they think is wrong. They live in the upside down. Quite literally, they live in the upside down. So they're upset. All these men arrested. And look, this is sexual assault of a child. This first guy right here. And they're okay with a person that committed sexual assault on a child. This is where we live. We live in the light. They live in the dark. We live outside the cave in the sunlight. They live in the cave. And they're screaming for all of us to be dragged back in shackles into the cave. My shadow is smarter than most, Russ Sandeman says. He says, watch this entire thread. Says, y'all have every talking point you'll ever need to close down the lunatic leftists. And if they would watch it with an open mind, they might rethink their position. From Vigilant Fox, who says, remember to bookmark this post above. This marks the beginning of the end of the Democrat-driven illegal alien crime wave in this country. All right, I'll bookmark it. Now let's roll the clips. Something went wrong, something went wrong, something went wrong. That's all it's telling me is bad things are going wrong. I want to go and follow Vigilant Fox. Okay. Maybe he deleted it. Maybe that's why. I'm not seeing that pinned post. Where is it at? 5 toxic foods, ultra processed foods, meta nightmare, child sacrifice, Joe Rogan, gender affirming crimes, etc., etc. A grown person, children, that's bad. Thank you for reading. The report resonated. Thank you, JFK. It looks like lung stuff. It's still nothing. It looks like he deleted it. Or something went wrong. It's a bummer. That is a bummer. So I guess we have to go right on back through. Back it up. See if anyone else posted anything on it. Nope, I'm not seeing the comments on it. It's kind of weird. The band, it says, this man is American here. We're talking about Human, Mr. Human, Mr. Human, Mr. Holman. Here he is, Holman. He's saying this man is American hero. In fact, he could be the greatest at the moment. And I agree with you. This guy's mentality is correct. You know, we've been so soft and so weak and so coddled, you know, when it comes to reality that now we're expecting all the authorities to coddle people when reality hits them in the face.
I hear it all the time.
This guy don't coddle you.
There's a lot of people in this country don't like me. I don't care. But when I walk to an airport, I have many people walking up to me and thank me for what I'm doing, and I'm not taking credit for anything. The success of the border and immigration enforcement is President Trump and the men and women wearing that uniform. God bless each and every one of them. But I take a pleasure in seeing it because in 40 years of doing this job, people always want to say, why are you so emotional when you testify? Why are you so emotional on network? Because if they wore my shoes.
Hey, I get the same thing. I get emotional when I stream. That's why I get loud. I get rapid fire. I get brah, 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 brah. I come at you like the shoe bill. I come at you like the shoe bill stork. You know, I got my full fucking clips, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to shoe bill. You know, I'm ready to hit you with it. And sometimes it just might actually be that left hook catches you. You know, it just may be that, but that's quite okay. I'm still going to have my say. But I get emotional about it too, just like he does. When he gives his testimony, he talks to people, he gives it, yeah. So I go through the same thing, so we have that in common.
Because in 40 years of doing this job, people always want to say, why are you so emotional when you testify? Why are you so emotional on network? Because if they wore my shoes for 40 years, they'd understand why I'm emotional. I've talked to little girls as young as 9 years old that were raped multiple times by the cartel members. And then when you get to your knees and you talk to that little girl and everything innocent and pure has been ripped from her, when you listen to the Lake and Riley, 17 minutes, that young lady fighting for her life, don't just think, okay, a young woman died. Think of how she died, the terror that she went through, and these children that are sexually assaulted. I stood in back of a tractor trailer and 19 dead people at my feet that baked to death. illegal immigration is not a victimless crime. And so every sick person we take off the streets, especially child rapists, it makes this country much safer. Every illegal alien we arrest, public safety threat, one at a time, makes this country safer.
Boom. And that's why when we showed you all of those lined up images out on the White House lawn, right there where the leftoid media comes and Donald Trump is bad and evil, white, supreme, and orange, and he's a Cheeto Hitler dictator. Well, they come and they vomit all that nonsense on us. When they spew all that emotional vomit on us, know what he just said to you. The very first picture that was in that image was a man that committed sexual assault on a child. The very persons that he's talking about. And they're crying over these monsters being booted. Now, I'm of the opinion that deportation is too risky. If they're flown back to their country of origin, it's fine, but you let them go free, airline charge. If you open the door and you let them go at about 35,000 feet, they get to be repatriated to the ground of their country at 35,000 feet. I'm okay with that. That's the only time I think they should be put on a plane, is to make sure they get a 35,000 foot altitude redrop into their country of origin. That I'm good with. But Russ Hanneman says wood chipper. I say correct. Dogs in America got eaten. I think that those poor little dogs that they just rescued need some good fresh chow. And I think that these guys are pretty damn good opportunity to be the prime source of the said chow, because we're just going to send them across the border for them to scurry back across again, slither back across again, scuttle across again. Once we have another Democrat in office, it's going to drop the border fucking guard again. I don't want to take the risk of them coming back. So either you go to Russ Hanneman, give him that old Ginsu, Sliso, Diso, Manic, Cutco, Interslice, Hype, Comper, Global, Meganet, and risk having Bill Gates show up to buy you out by breaking all the shit in your kitchen. Either you do that or you do the repatriation of these guys at 35,000 feet. I can't take the risk of them coming back, man. Fresh Pet is the new sponsor of the show. I wish they were. Oh, Fresh Pet. It's fresh Venezuelan gang chunks of meat, properly sourced from the animals of Venezuelans' gangs. Fresh free-range Venezuelan gang member chunks now with gravy. Animal gotta eat. Ha ha, woman, beat drums, yeah. But I look at this situation and I say we can't have a repeat. We can't have 4 years and then a repeat. This can't be just 4 years of clearing out the rabble if there's going to be allowed to scrabble like Mr. Krabs chasing after plankton to make his Krabby Patties. We can't have that. Bikini Bottom is a good place to maybe sell some Fresh Pet. Oh my God. Solutions need to be harsher. But anyhow, we got here. He said, let's go. Here we got Press Secretary again, Caroline Leavitt.
Today, we kick off 100-day week with a focus on the president's historic effort to secure our southern border. Later this afternoon, President Trump will sign an executive order on law and order and another executive order on sanctuary cities. The first EO will strengthen and unleash America's law enforcement to pursue criminals and protect innocent citizens. The second EO is centered around protecting American communities from criminal aliens, and it will direct the Attorney General and Secretary of Homeland Security to publish a list of state and local jurisdictions that obstruct the enforcement of federal immigration laws. After these are signed, the president will have signed more than 140 executive orders already, rapidly approaching the total number signed by the Biden administration.
Okay, that's fine, well and good. But does the orders give the orders for the Homeland Security and federal marshals to then arrest every mayor, alderman, city council, and fucking governor of these fucking sanctuary states and cities? If it doesn't, then it's not going to do a damn bit of good just telling he's doing something wrong. That's not enough for me. It better be a list that says, oh, this is the arrest list. Gavin Newsom being let out in fucking hand irons, leg irons and fucking manacles. I'd love to see that. And every mayor Like Mayor Bass that went out to Ghana, partying in Africa, and then going on home and ruin it for the other blacks that show up. And now say, holy shit, we can take advantage of this girl too. Well, the difference with the girl that sold everything she had and then moved over to Africa was that was her own personal shit. This Baron Bass did it on the taxpayer dime. It's spending trust me, you will never spend more money than you ever have when it's other people's money. Trust me. Those kind of people need to be in shackles for what they've done to this country. And they're all sanctuary cities, sanctuary states. Arrest these governors, arrest these mayors, arrest these city council members that have allowed themselves to be declared sanctuary cities, sanctuary states. Done with it. So unless this order comes with not only the list of these places that have declared themselves such, but also a list of all the people that need to be arrested. Treason. Yeah, and I'm thinking that Russ has got a great idea. Tren de Alpo. Dog food tastes just like it smells. Delicious. Absolutely true. Tren de Alpo. I think it's a great idea. The Tren de Alpo afuera. Right to the dog factory for you to go. You're going to be making Alpo. Don't worry. I don't know how to make a can. Don't worry about making the cans, dude. You're going to be in the can. Let's just put it that way. Do you have Prince Tren de Agua in a can? That's a good idea. It's delicious. Oh, but it's good news. We always want to end on a high note. It's good that they signed this executive order, and I don't give a shit how many that he's matched with Biden. I don't give a fuck. I care only about the actual consequences of them passing such things. I care about those things. Going to check those again. People saying, hey, thank you for saying live now. I appreciate. But don't forget, sometimes miracles do happen. These animals being rescued is a miracle. Yes, I do care more about these dogs than I do about the Tren de Aguas that are being dropped off, preferably at 35,000 feet, as they're going back over Venezuela. I'm perfectly okay with that, but I don't want them to have a chance of coming back. I want permanency in these. I want permanency. Permanency. So good. So these doggies were afuera from that lab. Happy to see that. And yes, I will definitely care more about this dog than Tren de Afuera. Tren de Afuera. Tren de Afuera gang member. I will not give a fuck about them in any rational capacity. Dogs first. Dog lives matter. BLM, Beagle lives matter. Sorry to say, you guys, but I don't agree with the Democrats I do not agree with their positions. I want to wrap that up tonight. I want to say thank you all for coming in for more MAGA Mayhem. I'll be back again tomorrow, Thursday. For Thursday Thunderdome, we're going to take the brakes off. We're going to turn off all the doom scrolling. No politics. It's just music. You can come and your request. Every time you buy a gifted sub, you have a chance of actually, and with every gifted sub, you're guaranteed to get a request. We have limited time. It's only for an hour and a half. So come and hang out with me and Newt for the Thursday Thunderdome. Good night and God bless everybody.